My original idea for this review was to go in depth. I was going to thoroughly explain how the physics engine for Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 through Project 8 worked, and explain how at its core was what kept the fanbase happy throughout the evolution of sequels. I was prepared to give an in-depth analysis of the Tony Hawk Pro Skater series level design and show how much care and calculation went into each map. I was completely prepared to bring in my decade-old knowledge of the Tony Hawk series to break down point by point why Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5 is a massive failure to the Pro Skater fanbase and then in turn to the common game consumer. But there's no need for any of that. It doesn't take a fucking rocket scientist to see that Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5 is not worth your money. This game is a broken mess. The instant you turn the game on, you have to download a whopping 7.6 gig patch. The actual game itself only weighs in at 4.6 gigs. What the actual fuck is that shit? Robomoto practically shipped the game when it wasn't even finished. Even with this patch, there are reports of game-breaking glitches out the ass. People are reporting corrupted save files, frequent crashes, falling through floors, and more.
My game crashed while I was autosaving and destroyed my file after 10 hours of playing. I'd unlocked every level. I had nearly max stats on my character, but one bad crash completely unmade that.
Holy shit, it's worse than I could have ever imagined. I was originally going to make this rant for the Pro Skater community to better articulate why this game let us all down, but they surpassed letting the community down. They just flat out made a terrible game with no appeal to anyone. This game is a broken piece of shit. So the review could end right here. Obviously, do not buy this game, but I'm going to continue on. It's easy to write this game off as terrible because it has a lot of glitches. No, let's pretend like these game-breaking glitches aren't even present. I'm going to show you why this game in its purest form is a pile of trash. So let's download the patch, start the game, and begin with Create-A-Skater. Oh wait, that feature isn't even in the game. That bullshit we saw in the trailer where it gave the impression of Create-A-Skater making a return was nothing but fluff. You can only play as a pro skater, but you have the option of swapping out their head and torso with other pre-made characters. Yawn. In Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4, we got a ton of customizable skater options. We could name and age our character, give them a hometown, change their height, customize the clothing colors, choose from many tattoos, hats, shirts, pants, shoes. It was a well-designed feature. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5, on the other hand, will only allow you to play as one complete pre-made character, or some unholy monstrosity. Okay, so that's a major disappointment, but let's just forget about that and jump into the actual game. So by default, this game pairs you with other players online when you start a map, but there's no text chat like the previous Tony Hawk games, and 90% of the time, the other players are frozen while they play a challenge. So there's little to no interaction with other people, making this entire online shit completely pointless. So after you experience how lackluster the online feature is, you'll probably want to start some challenges. But just the act of starting a challenge can be a huge pain in the ass because everything has to load. You see the screen right here? Get used to it, you'll be seeing it a lot. Here's how you do it in Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4. You see a guy, you talk to him, immediately the mission starts. You see a guy, you talk to him, immediately the mission starts. You see a guy, you talk to him, immediately the mission starts. Or hell, go to the menu, select the mission, and bam, it immediately starts. In Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5, you have to click these bland arrows and wait, due to a glitch, these things don't even fucking work. So never mind, you go to the options menu, bring up a list of missions, select one, and wait. And wait. And wait. And wait. And wait. And the mission starts. What a piece of shit. And once you start a challenge, you can't end it. So for example here, I've got the maximum ranking on this challenge, yet I still have to wait until the timer runs out. For Pro Skater 4, you can complete the goal and choose to keep going for a higher score, or choose to end it and move on at your own leisure. Pro Skater 5 will always lock you into a mission, making the entire game feel like a hassle. Now, there's no variety to these missions whatsoever. There's always a mission where your head is going to explode unless you constantly score points. There's always a mission where you have to skate through rings. There's always a mission where you have to collect random shit scattered throughout the map. There's always a fucking piece of fucking shit mission where you have to knock shit in or out a pole. They're the most unimaginative, half-baked ideas I've seen in this current gen of gaming. I almost couldn't believe it at first. I told myself, no, this can't be the entire game. But yes, this is all you do. A small set of the exact same 10 challenges in 8 different levels. Back to Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4, 9 levels, 21 challenges for most of them, and those challenges had a lot of variety, and of course, they were pretty damn entertaining.
Oh my good lord, Ranger Bob has gone and amassed an army of hypnotized tourists. Stop his evil plot or we'll surely lose this island. Knock him off that ledge!
This is all non-existent in Pro Skater 5. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5 lacks this variety, and the game becomes repetitive very quickly. The only unique thing this game has going for it is that your head can grow really big. They keep using this gimmick in a few missions, and it was amusing at first, I'll admit, but once you realize this is all they have and they keep using it, you start to realize how pathetic the entire mission structure really is. So, okay, if the challenges aren't the driving force behind this game, then surely it's the levels, right? Hell no, you get 8 compact, boring, symmetric maps. Just because you lined up a row of quarter pipes in outer space doesn't make it interesting. That's all this game really consists of, are banal rows of quarter pipes, and it all feels like a rehash of the Pro Skater 1 and 2 level designs. You look at Pro Skater 3 and 4 and you've got the cruise ship, LA, London, Alcatraz, Zoo, specific themes enriched in detail. You look at Pro Skater 5 and you've got nothing. No, literally, you've got nothing. These maps are empty. There are no pedestrians anywhere, no animals or cars or anything. This game lacks personality. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4 had a ton of personality. There were Easter eggs and mini games scattered throughout the maps. Like, look, this hick-ass carny is about to fuck a goat. That's awesome! The whole game was wrapped in this really immature punk skater style of humor, and it made the whole game that much more awesome. We've got a ton of cheats to play with. We can watch a handful of entertaining videos ranging from skate montages to behind the scenes Neversoft fuckery. Pro Skater 5 is just shallow. There's nothing to it. All the environments are empty, small, and boring. Robomoto is a boring company with no passion for their games, so of course they didn't add any fun montages or cheats. I fucking hate Robomoto. But where was I? Oh yeah, so the challenges are terrible. The maps are boring. Surely it's the gameplay, right? The gameplay is the true defining feature for a Tony Hawk game. Now, this is the fun part, because I get to go back and confirm my suspicion that this guy is a fucking retard. This game does not feel like the old Tony Hawk games. It's got the same shitty artificial fluidity from HD. I can't for the life of me figure out how reverts work because every time I do it, it still ends the combo. You can't ollie out of reverts, and if your timing is ever so slightly off on performing a manual, your combo will end in the exact same way it did in HD. Every time you fall, instead of your character picking himself up like a badass, it fades to white, which is incredibly annoying. You go slow as shit whenever you grind on something, and the slam button is god-awful. I can't even begin to tell you how many times I fucked up a combo because of the slam button. If you're doing a wall ride, you've got about a 60% chance of ending your combo with it. It's an absolute joke. And guess what? There's no way to turn it off. And even worse, you can't even customize how your controller is mapped to begin with. Let's go back to Pro Skater 4. You can set custom spawn points on the map, turn ramps on or off. In Pro Skater 5, you can't even edit your own goddamn tricks. Things like the double kickflip don't exist anymore. Manual and invert variations don't exist anymore. Over 75 different custom tricks to choose from in Pro Skater 4. None of that is possible in Pro Skater 5. Oh yeah, and the way the special meter works now. Oh my god, I can't even put into words how stupid of an idea this is. This is the most damning evidence that the people behind this game knew so little about the series. So, you build up your special meter like you normally would in any Pro Skater game, but if you're in a combo while your meter is building, You can't use it. It actually encourages the player to drop their combo so they can activate their special meter. And all the special meter does is make your character spaz out in a flurry of random tricks that are basically just the standard double tap trick variations from Pro Skater 4. Holy shit, Robomoto, you are the biggest hacks in the gaming industry I have ever seen. I mean, the whole game feels like sludgy shit, but changing the special meter was the last straw. Okay, I'm sorry. I can't review this game anymore. This game fucking sucks. This is not Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5. This is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater HD 2. Throughout the review, I kept comparing Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4 and 5 because I wanted to show how pathetic it is that a well over decade-old game can smash the shit out of a modern title. You could go to eBay right now and buy this 99-cent game that will leave you with a more enriched experience than this state-of-the-art piece of shit. There is no excuse for this. Robomoto had the perfect source material to use, but they didn't use a fucking thing. Pro Skater 5 should have obviously been a follow-up to Pro Skater 4, but instead it feels like a shitty, bizarro sequel to Pro Skater 2. But there you go. The game at its core is the worst game in the Pro Skater series. If you want to judge the game on its own, independent of the series, it's still a sluggy, mediocre game. But of course, let's go back to reality. This game is still filled with a ton of glitches. Do not, under any circumstances, buy this game. If you want the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5 experience, but for a fraction of the price, buy Goat Simulator. That game is much more deserving of your time and money. It also has more variety, challenges, and power-ups too. If you really want to play another Tony Hawk game, check out Thug Pro. Thug Pro is a mod for Tony Hawk's Underground 2, which has an insane amount of features. It allows you to play online, it features many levels from the entire Tony Hawk series, and is basically an overall improvement to the entire series. Many things can be tweaked out and changed to your liking. Have you ever wanted to do wall plants in Pro Skater 4? You bet your ass you have. Well, now it's possible. This mod is the new lifeline of the Pro Skater community. By the fans, for the fans. That's right, everyone. A team of amateur game modders broke down and reconstructed the entire Tony Hawk series to make one kick-ass Tony Hawk game on steroids, but a fucking professional gaming company can't figure out how to ship a game that works. Do not buy this game. It's not worth $60. It's not worth $10. Use that money to buy Fallout 4. Donate that money to charity. You can go to CharityWatch.org and search for many trusted and verified charities to donate your money to. Use that money to buy a prostitute. Go to Backpage.com, search under escorts, and buy yourself a dirty handjob from some crusty whore. Or donate that money to me. Support my videos, visit my Patreon, or send the money directly to me via PayPal. Wipe your ass with that $60. Literally, do anything with that $60, then spend it on this game. I want Robomoto to go bankrupt by next month. I want their entire dev team to be out of a job and on the streets. Everyone, right now, go on Twitter and tweet at Robomoto, you blew it. No, don't do that. I'm sorry, sometimes I get a little too into this. The truth is, they actually tried their best to make this feel like a natural Tony Hawk game. They spoke with past Neversoft employees and thoroughly looked at the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater source code. They've been in touch with passionate members of the community like Skate Ace and THPSX.com. They saw my video and based off my complaints, changed the balance system. I mean, it ultimately amounted to nothing and we got a fucking awful game out of it, but at least they tried. I feel bad, honestly. I don't know if they have shitty-ass programmers or what, but they're a fucking terrible company. But they're a terrible company with heart, and I respect that. Maybe they're not the ones to blame. Perhaps it's that whack-ass publisher Activision squeezing out sequel after sequel of trash. According to this report in 2002, Activision signed a contract with Tony Hawk to make games until 2015. This year. This was the last year for there to ever be another Tony Hawk game. So I'm sure Activision was like, oh boy, one last cash grab. Quick, tell Robomoto to squeeze some shit out of their ass. It didn't matter if the game was going to be good or not. What is there to lose? It's not like the series is going anywhere after this. They knew from the start that this was the final game in the series. Call it Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5 and market it towards the nostalgia-driven fans. Let's focus most of our trailers on the skaters themselves to market towards the skate crowd. The game practically paid for itself with all the advertisements. I'm sure this game had an incredibly low budget in order to get maximum profit. And you know what? I'm still not letting Robomoto off the hook. It's like that episode of Hey Arnold where Big Gino commands Sid to rape Arnold in the bathroom. Big Gino being Activision, Sid being Robomoto, and Arnold being us. The only difference is that Sid had the heart not to go through with it. It's like at the end of that 70s show where everybody takes turns gang raping Jackie. They are trying to rip us off. The Tony Hawk Pro Skater fan base are the victims. This game is the biggest fuck you to a gaming community I have ever seen. So for the love of God, do not buy this game. This game is nothing more than a poorly planned scam. Please let them lose money as a result of it.
No